Okay, so in this module, I will be talking about time management basics. This is purely at the very basic level as well. At uh, early days, if you're starting out as a new career or making a change into a new industry entirely, it's important to kind of go over these um, basics training to ensure that you got the basic covered as you go from basic and then moving on to intermediate, then professional, of course, advanced. So in this presentation, I will be giving, excuse me, an overview of time management principles, some practical strategies for maximizing your productivity, and also I'll talk about ways to minimize distractions, and of course how to get or achieve a healthy work-life balance. So there will be some recommendations on understanding prioritization methods to leverage. We can leverage AI tools to help us with prioritization as well. So let's get into it. The first thing is effective time management hinges on knowing how to prioritize. And by prioritizing, that means that you need to be able to look at your tasks, the things you have to do, and come up with a criteria by which you then arrange or order them in order of importance or urgency or priority. Yeah, so that's what prioritization is. Having a scientific way to basically prioritize your task or to-do list or your activities for the day or for the week or for wherever. So this applies not just to your day-to-day work, it also applies to it could apply to your personal life or your personal projects. A popular matrix, which is the Eisenhower matrix, is basically a task prioritization method, and it categorizes tasks based on urgency and importance. I mentioned earlier you need to have a system or a scientific method to prioritize. Okay, so in this Eisenhower matrix, um, you have urgent and important tasks which require immediate attention. So let's say I have a list of 5 things. Number one, I ask myself the question, 2 questions for each. Is this urgent? If yes, is this also important? If yes, so that means it sits under urgent and important, right? So, for example, attending critical meetings, address immediate deadlines, or tackling high priority projects. Those sound like things that are quite urgent and at the same time they are important. Also, we have second matrix or second box on the matrix, which is basically important but not urgent. So they're important things, but they are not things that are like time, you know, urgent, right? So things like, for example, planning for future goals, engage in strategic thinking or brainstorming sessions, or building work relationship or professional relationship. Those are really important things to do, but they're not things that are time bound, basically meaning that you have to do them. If you don't do them like today, then something is basically going to be impacted negatively. Does that make sense? Then we have urgent and not important. So there are things that are very urgent: send an email, decline a request, delegate a task, manage interruptions, and all that type of stuff that happen in the course of the day, on the course of the week. There are things that you need to respond to. You have to wait, even though they might not be important, right? But you have to respond and react to them. Then we have not urgent and not important. So basically, these are like potentially time wasting type activities. Avoid the things like avoiding that you do to avoid procrastination, or things that you have to do basically that are not super urgent, but they're not very important. But there are things you can do maybe when you're not, like when you have some spare time or some, leisure time or something. So you want to basically eliminate those things and just basically, let somebody else let's let this go away, or let's bin it. We're not doing this. It's not important. It's not urgent. Let's just throw them away. So um, Urgent and important tasks require immediate attention. Important but not urgent can be scheduled for later. You can do them later. Then urgent but not important, it needs delegation or minimized. But tasks that are neither urgent nor important, you can basically take them out. Okay, just bin them. So this is the Einstein-Hower matrix. I've used it. I still use it. Um, though in different shapes and different forms. I come up with my to-do list and basically just use a tick to say urgent, important, no, no, no. Or this one I can do later because it's important, not urgent. Or maybe it's urgent and not important. Then I can delegate it to somebody else. And then anything else, basically, it doesn't get done, basically because it's not urgent and maybe not important. Right? So that's one prioritization method I really want to call out in this course. The second thing here is about using AI reminders and scheduling tools. So modern AI powered reminders like Calendly and a few other ones actually can significantly enhance your time management. They offer things like task scheduling. I use Microsoft Task; it's really good. Um, Calendar synchronization. You can synchronize your calendars to make sure that you are focusing on the most important meetings or most critical conversations. And some of them, a lot of them, most of them actually do personalized reminders to tell you in advance when a meeting is coming up or something's about to happen. So you can use these tools to can automate repetitive tasks, and you can prioritize important deadlines and receive timely reminders. So this basically free up your valuable cognitive space for more complex activities. So, like I said, set timely reminders. So you can use AI powered reminders. For example, Google Calendar. It has this nice Google Calendar is one of the best ones actually. It has a good way to remind you to set alert for meetings, multiple alerts even before the meeting happens, an important event. So you can experiment with email, notification, SMS. You can do all of that, for each meeting. And you can you can experiment and find out what works for you. Now, there's no rule of thumb here that says these are things you have to do, but it's about trying out and testing out and experimenting and see which one actually you prefer because each individual is different. So you have to find what works best for you and then basically owning on that. Okay. The second thing is optimizing your scheduling. You can optimize your scheduling and you can automate it. You can also automate your calendar synchronization. So you can use something like Calendly or X.ai. You can automate like your appointment scheduling, and you can do that for you automatically. You can use tools like Google Calendar or Outlook, and it will bring everything all together in one place, right? So check it out and try it and see what works. So it can help you to set up meetings for important conversations. Let's say there's an email or there's a report or there's something you need to do, and you want the AI to basically schedule something for you, like a recurring conversation or one-off meeting or something like that, appointment or reminder in your calendar. Then you can manage multiple projects. You can use AI tools to track progress across multiple projects. So you can use tools like Asana. They have like AI built features in them now. Monday.com, Jira, a lot of them integrate AI to provide progress reports. They can do like they can predict potential delays. So now if you have like Trello, I think Trello also has this like you have like deadline or what time to complete. You can send you automatic reminders when something is due. Some of them even do like red flag or something like that on the card, on the board, and so on and so forth. So you can assign tasks within these tools and use the AI powered features to track individual progress towards completion. So AI can really, really help you save you a lot of time and make you more time efficient. Another method I want to quickly touch on as well is effective task batching and time blocking. So task batching and time blocking are ways, they're just techniques basically for maximizing your productivity. When you talk about task batching, you basically group similar tasks together for efficient execution. I tend to do this because I do have to have meetings with different teams during the day, for example. So I want to make sure that I'm reducing the amount of context switch I have to do. So if in the morning I'm doing all my meetings on a particular project, then all the teams in that project, I probably arrange my meetings with them like in the block of hours so that I'm still within context and I'm relating, information that is consistent and relevant to each of the teams working on, as part of that project. Excuse me. That way it helps me to bask, my tasks, and also block time out to do specific things for a particular project. This strategy streamlines workflow, minimize context switching. I just said that. That's why I didn't. I just said that's what I do, leading to greater focus and improved efficiency. Time blocking, allocate specific time block for specific task. And what it does is you create a structured schedule that promotes focused work. So sometimes I want to focus on creative and productive work, and I don't want any distractions. So I block time out and I say, I'm not available. Nobody should, if you message me, do not disturb, all that. And I block, I focus until I finish. And when I do that, I know I've done something quite productive. That is quite important, in the bigger scheme of things. Otherwise, you find yourself in many meetings, many conversations with little productivity to show for it. Okay, so task batching, basket touch or basket tasks, or block time to focus on specific things. Then limit. This is about minimizing distractions and digital clutter. As you know, digital is the world we live in now. Everything is online. Distractions are a lot as well. A huge amount of distractions. Social media, notifications, SMS, WhatsApp, and so many distractions. So distractions can significantly hinder your productivity when it comes to time management. So managing digital clutter is a skill essential or crucial for focused work, and you need to minimize unnecessary notifications, right? Silencing distracting applications on your device, on your laptop, on your phone. Sometimes I silence my team so I can focus. Sometimes I switch off my phone, or I put my phone on airplane mode so that no notifications, so I can, you know, um, and you can create a dedicated workspace free from clutter as well. So you can, on your desktop now, you can have multiple, on your laptop, on your device, you can have multiple desktop where you have access to a clean place where nothing's coming there, only you, and you're just doing your work. And when you finish, you can come out of it and then go to the other desktop where all the other stuff and teams and apps and notifications exist. Okay, so you can implement strategies like the Pomodoro technique, which is very popular, to work in focused intervals, interspersed with short breaks, allow you to recharge and maintain focus. Like I'm doing a lot of recording, of batch recording, so I'm giving myself space in between this program so I can make sure that I have enough productivity to account for. So what I've done is to limit notifications, turn off non-essential notifications to minimize interruption, and so that you can focus. You can minimize digital clutter. I've talked about that, and also you can create dedicated workspace. Uh, this is just a bonus point, which is around self-care and work-life balance. As much as we are doing time management, it's not just about squeezing more tasks into the little time we have, but also about fostering a healthy balance between your work and your personal life. So, excuse me, you want to prioritize your self-care by scheduling regular breaks, take breaks, stand up, stretch, move around, engage in physical activity, exercise, and ensuring you sleep, adequate sleep, super important. So allocate dedicated time for personal pursuits, all based on relationships, and fostering a fulfilled life outside of work is super important. Procrastination is the enemy of time, is a thief of time, and anything that steals your time steals your opportunity. I always say that. Anything that steals your time is stealing your opportunity, and anything that steals your opportunity is stealing your destiny. Very, very simple and very straightforward. So it's important to overcome procrastination. I've recommended a 2 minute rule here. Procrastination is a common hurdle, right? Everybody faces this. But the 2 minute rule encourages you to tackle tasks that can be completed in under 2 minutes immediately. So what you do is you conquer this smaller task and you build momentum and you reduce the mental burden of I have so much accumulated unfinished work, which can be discouraging mentally and also create emotional pressure or stress or whatever. So this approach can significantly improve your productivity and reduce procrastination. So number one, identify 2 minute task, This one is just an email. This one is just to say yes. This one is to say no. This one is to approve. This one is, I get a lot of that. So I kind of, batch them and I just get them and pop, pop, pop. So that way I'm unblocking myself, I'm unblocking my team, and I don't feel, like I've accumulated a lot of things to do. Complete them immediately. And then that way you are building momentum and you're reducing procrastination. I've talked about, when I talked about the Eisenhower matrix, outsourcing and delegating, number 3, which are the things that are um, not urgent, okay, not important, right? Delegating non-essential tasks. They are not important, but they are urgent, basically. Sorry, the other way around. They are not important, but they're urgent. You want to delegate them so they can free up time for more important tasks, okay? So what you can do is identify them and basically let your team member or let somebody else do them, or basically outsource them even to freelancers if it's something you need to get paid for, people to pay for them. But make sure that when you're delegating to qualified people, okay? It will free you up in terms of the time, allow you to focus on cost strength and high impact activities. Now, when it comes to measuring productivity and adjusting strategies, it's important that you regularly review and regularly evaluate your time management approach, okay? So you can track your productivity, you can analyze your time usage. Yeah, there's a lot of apps to do that now. You can identify the things that you do that consume excessive time from you, and then you can basically adjust, based on your observations, and then you can experiment with new techniques as well to optimize the time management system. Okay, so 3 things you can do for measure your productivity is track your time spent on activities or work that you're doing, identify the ones that consume most time, analyze your productivity, basically look at your output versus, the things the amount of time you're putting them, and then identify areas for improvement. Something that should take you think should take you 1 hour, take you 3 hours. Is there something in there? Is there a way to make it faster, make it quicker? And then you can basically begin to tweak and adjust your strategy. So finally, in terms of managing time, it is an ongoing process of learning, excuse me, adaptation and refinement. So you need to implement these principles, and you can basically develop a time management system and always review it in a way that promotes your productivity, reduce your stress, and of course, foster a fulfilling work-life integration. I mean, I say so. My slides say work-life balance, but I think work-life integration is the new. It's the way I'll put it. Remember, the key to success lies in a consistent effort and a commitment to personal growth. Remember that. And I'll see you in another class. Bye for now.